Hello everybody, this is Mr. McNair, and this is 6.5 multiplying polynomials. Every once in a while, during these notes, you might want to go ahead and pause the video so that you can make sure that you get everything that needs to be copied down. Alright, remember when, now you don't need to write this slide down, but remember when we learned how to multiply a monomial and polynomial by using the distributive property? It looks something like this. 3 times 2x minus 3. How will we do this problem? Well, we will take that 3 and distribute it into the parentheses. 3 times 2x is 6x. And then 3 times a negative 3 is negative 9. That's a monomial being multiplied by a polynomial. Now, once again, you don't need to write this slide down. But when you're multiplying binomials, you're going to do something similar. Alright, for example, let's say you had something like x plus 4 times x plus 5. Well, when you're doing this, each term in the first binomial must multiply with each term in the second binomial. Now, the way that we remember how to do this is what we call the FOIL method. The FOIL method is this. FOIL stands for, and this you do need to write down, FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, and last. Alright, this is the FOIL method. Now, how we use FOIL. Now, on this slide, there's going to be some words. You don't necessarily need to write the words down. However, you do not need to write down the example and the numbers. So, when we're doing the first, we multiply the first terms in the binomial together. Well, the first terms in the binomial here are x and x. What is x times x? Well, that's x squared. So that's f in FOIL. Next, we do the outside terms. Those terms are x and 5. Well, what's x times 5? That's 5x. Then we do the inside terms. That's 4 and x. Well, what's 4 times x? That's 4x. Then finally, we do the last terms. The last terms are 4 and 5. 4 times 5 equals 20. Now, we know that that's not our final answer because we have like terms that we can combine, so we simplify this. When we combine our like terms, we find that 5x plus 4x is 9x, so our answer is x squared plus 9x plus 20. Alright, I would like you guys to go ahead and try this example on your own. 2x minus 2 times x minus 4. After you tried that on your own, let's do this together. So let's multiply our first together, which are 2x and x. 2x times x is 2x squared. Then we're going to do our outside terms. Those terms are 2x and negative 4. That equals negative 8x. Now, if you have plus negative 8x, that's fine, or even just minus 8x is fine. Next, we do our inside terms. Those terms are negative 2 and x. That multiplies to be negative 2x. Once again, you could just have minus 2x. And then we do our last. The last terms are negative 2 and negative 4. And that multiplies to be a positive 8. Once again, we're going to combine our like terms, and we get 2x squared minus 10x plus 8. Okay, let's go ahead and switch over to some Mimeo notes. Real quick, I want to give you another problem. Let's say I gave you something like 3x squared minus 5 times 2x plus 1. Go ahead and take a moment and try this problem on your own. Once you've tried it on your own, let's apply our FOIL. So FOIL is really just distributing every term in the first binomial to every term in the second binomial. So we're going to take this 3x squared and we're going to multiply it to the 2x and the 1. Well, 3x squared times 2x, that's going to be 6x cubed. And then 3x squared times 1, that's positive 3x squared. Then we do our inside terms, negative 5 times 2x, that's negative 10x. And then negative 5 times 1, which is negative 5. Combining like terms, well, actually, when we look at this, there are no like terms. So that actually is the final answer. Okay? Now, there's another method that I would like to show you right now, and it's called the box method. Now, either method will work fine with this. However, the box method does allow people to keep things a little bit more organized. What the box method does is it takes the terms in one of the polynomials and puts them on the side of the box. Doesn't matter what side. The terms in this first polynomial are 3x squared and negative 5. The terms in the second polynomial are 2x and positive 1. Then we create a little box out of it. It's kind of similar to the Punnett square that you use in science. Then we just multiply the sides of the box together. 3x squared times 2x, that's 6x cubed. Negative 5 times 2x, that's negative 10x. 3x squared and 1, that multiplies to be 3x squared. And then negative 5 and 1 multiplies to be negative 5. And then you just add the boxes together that have like terms. Well, in this one, we happen not to have any. 6x cubed isn't like terms with anything. 3x squared isn't like terms with anything. Negative 10x isn't like terms with anything. And neither is negative 5. And so we still get this same answer right here. All right. Here we go. This problem, we're now multiplying a binomial times a trinomial. It's going to be the same concept. This x has to distribute to everything in this parentheses. Alright, so let's do that one at a time. So first, x times 5, well, that's going to be 5x. And then x times 3x, that's 3x squared. X times negative x squared, that's negative x cubed. And then we're going to distribute this negative 2 into everything. Okay, so negative 2 times 5, that's negative 10. Negative 2 times 3x, that's negative 6x. And then negative 2 times negative x squared. Well, a negative times a negative is a positive, and that's 2x squared. From there, we combine our like terms. There's nothing like terms with that negative x cubed, so we're going to put that first. Remember, we typically like to put our expressions, our polynomials, in standard form, which means highest exponent to lowest. So that's why we do that x cubed first. So we have negative x cubed, that's gone. And then we have 3x squared plus 2x squared, which is positive 5x squared. So those are now gone. We have this 5x and this negative 6x, which combine to be negative 1x. So those are gone. And then we're left with that negative 10. Okay? And there we go. That's our answer. Next, this problem is the same as the last. I'm just going to go ahead and do this problem using the box method. You don't necessarily need to write this one down. But just for those of you who like doing the box method can see it again. Here we have 3 terms, trinomial. So we're going to go ahead and write those 3 terms down at the top of the box. And then on the side of the box we have a binomial, 2x and negative 5. So we're going to make the size of our box here, and then we're going to go ahead and multiply the terms together. 4x squared and 2x, that's 8x cubed. Negative 3x and 2x, that's negative 6x squared. Negative 1 and 2x, that's going to be negative 2x. And then negative 4x and positive 4x squared and negative 5, that's negative 20x squared. Negative 3x and negative 5, that's positive 15x. And then negative 1 and negative 5, that's positive 5. Combine the boxes that have like terms in them. Well, there's nothing like terms with the 8x cubed. And then we have negative 6x squared with negative 20x squared, which is negative 26x squared. 15x and negative 2x, that makes positive 13x. And then we're left with that positive 5 as well. And that's our answer. Alright, next. Here, we have 3 binomials that we're multiplying together. Now, when we multiply binomials, multiplying binomials is just like multiplying any 3 numbers. Like, for example, let's forget about this for a second. Let's say I was multiplying 3 times 4 times 5. Well, to do that, we would just multiply 3 times 4, get 12, and then multiply 12 times 5 and get 60. Or you could have even multiplied 4 times 5 and got 20, and then did 3 times 20 and got 60. So the concept that we're doing here is that we multiply two of the terms together, and then that answer is multiplied by the next term. Well, that's the same thing that we're going to do here. All right, just multiply two of these together. Let's forget about that last one for right now. Let's just multiply these two. All right, so when we FOIL this, we get 6x squared plus 21x. Inside, we get 2x. Last, we get 7. Combine our like terms. We get 6x squared plus 23x plus 7. All right, and once again, if I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause the video so that we can see that. Now that we've multiplied that, we're going to bring back in that last binomial. So we're going to bring down that 4x minus 5 and multiply that into our answer. So I'm going to take this 4x and just distribute it into all of that. So 4x times 6x squared, that's 26x squared. Excuse me, 24x squared. I'm a math teacher, right? All right, 24x squared. And then 4x times 23x, that is positive 92x squared. I'm sorry, I'm making mistakes all over the place. That's x cubed. So plus 92x squared. And then 4x times 7. So 23x times 4x is positive 92x squared. And then we have this 4x times 7x. Excuse me, 4x times 7, which is 28x. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to take this negative 5 and distribute it to everything in this set of the parentheses. Okay? So negative 5 times 6x squared, that's going to be negative 30x squared. Negative 5 times 23x, that's going to be negative 115x. And then negative 5 times 7, which is going to be negative 35. All right? And then once again from there, we're going to combine our like terms. So we have one x cubed value up here, so we're just going to write that down. So that's positive 24x cubed. That's gone. And then we have 92x squared combined with a negative 30x squared, which is positive 62x squared. So those are gone. And then we have this 28x, 28x and negative 115x, which is negative 87x. Those are gone. And then we are left with this negative 35 here. And we just bring that down. Okay? And there we go. That's our final answer. 24x cubed plus 62x squared minus 87x minus 35. All right. Last problem for this section. So this one says find an expression for the area of the figure. I'm going to go ahead and, I would say go ahead and pause the video real quick so you can write down this problem and then also copy down the figure. Now we know that the area of a triangle is given by the formula 1/2 base times height. Well, the 1/2 is obvious, it's 1/2. The base, 6x minus 5. So we're going to go ahead and just plug that in, 6x minus 5. And then the height is x plus 4. So again, we just write the x plus 4 times x plus 4. Okay? Now, just like in the last problem, we actually have three things that we're multiplying here. We have the 1/2, we have the 6x minus 5, and we have the x plus 4. So the way that we do that again is just to multiply any two of them. I'm going to go ahead and start off by multiplying this 1/2 times 6x minus 5. Okay? So this 1/2 is going to distribute into that parentheses. So that's going to be 3x, because half of 6 is 3. So 3x, and then half of negative 5 is negative 2.5. Alright, so we multiplied those two. Now we take that answer and multiply it by the remaining one, 6x, or x plus 4. So we're going to take this 3x and FOIL it into there. So first, 3x times x, that's 3x squared. 3x times 4, that's positive 12x. Negative 2.5 times x, that's negative 2.5x. And negative 2.5 times 4 is negative 10. Alright, combine our like terms, which are 12x and negative 2.5x. So we're just going to bring down this 3x squared here. 12x minus 2.5x, that's positive 9.5x. And then we're just going to bring down our minus 10. And there we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, those are the notes for section 6.5.